Black and my Rari.
What is going on, guys? It's your boy Kyle the Pug here, and today we're going to be talking about quite a few things. So we're going to be jumping around a lot of topics here today, because basically, I wouldn't say it's story time with Kyle the Pug, but there are a lot of topics I'm going to talk to you guys about here today. So first off, before I start the video, I just want to say a huge shout out to my boy Cinnamon HD for reaching 8,000 subscribers. Quite a huge accomplishment. So and it's really hard to do nowadays just to hit 8,000 subscribers. So again, man, congratulations, and you definitely deserve it, brother. So a huge shout out to him. I'll put his link in the description below, so that way you guys can go check him out also. So without further ado, on with today's video. So I wanted to talk about a couple of things here really quick, and there's going to be, and this is going to be a long video for you guys, so bear with me here. Probably maybe like over 15 minutes, but I'm not sure. So the first thing I want to talk about is for all the sports fans out there. I did my show today, Kyle the Pug Sports Review Show. If you haven't checked that out yet, I'll definitely link that in the description below so you guys can go check it out. So I did my sports review show today, and I talked about the NLDS for Game 4 and also Game 5 as well for the, not Game 5, but Game 5 is going to be coming up, you know, sooner or later. But the NLDS, right, so Game 4 and both Game 4s actually, so it was quite a battle between all of these teams. We had the Nationals and the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium, and of course we had the Chicago Cubs in San Francisco taking on the Giants. So it was a pretty good show for both sides and for both games, I should say, and overall it was really fun to watch. Now, the thing that got me with both of these games was that both teams were, when I say both teams, I'm talking about the Dodgers and the Giants, were both up 5-2, you know, and one was in the 7th inning and one was in the 9th inning. And I will get to that, I will get to the both games here, or I'll actually get to the Giants here in a bit, but I want to talk about the Dodgers really quick. And of course, Clayton Kershaw, I know, of course, I am a Dodger fan for those who didn't know. With Clayton Kershaw, he's definitely one of the best pitchers in baseball right now, no doubt about it. But he's had problems with, of course, closing out postseason games in the 7th. Well, I don't think it was just merely Kershaw that had the problem, but it was just mostly on the defensive end is basically what happened with Clayton Kershaw and the LA Dodgers. I mean, Seager made a nice little play at second base, but he was a little too slow, and that's where everything kind of started getting a little out of hand, because Kershaw was up against Bryce Harper, and, you know, counts full 3-2, everybody's expecting him to get him out, you know, all that. But then he ends up walking Bryce Harper, and this is where the Dodgers' awful bullpen comes in. Okay, so Pedro Baez, right, he goes into the bullpen, or they go to the bullpen, Pedro Baez is coming in to pitch, you know, whatever, right? And normally you expect the bullpen to actually do their job and get the out, but the first time he came in, the very first pitch he throws, he hits the guy right on the first pitch, and it causes the runner to score, so it's 5-3. And then, you know, a couple batters later, or actually one batter later, I don't remember who it was hitting. I think it might have been Anthony. I don't know. Forgive me if I'm wrong. It might have been Anthony Rendon. I'm not sure. I got to go back and look. But so the Nationals get a single, like a two-run single, and then it's 5-5, and then finally you get their third out. Everything goes from there. So, but then the bottom 8th inning comes around. The Dodgers, you know, they're trying to find a way to at least get like a couple runs on the board, maybe one or so for like insurance policy. So what happened was Andrew Toles gets hit by a pitch, and Andre Ethier, the next batter after that, he gets a single, and after that, Chase Utley, you know, he's, you know, on the verge of, you know, not the downside, but he's coming to the point where he's about to retire. But Chase Utley gives the Dodgers an RBI single to make them go up 6-5, and they kind of rebound from there, which is actually, you know, really cool. And of course, I was about to have a heart attack in that game because there was a lot of bad officiating by the umps, and it was just, oh my god. If you follow me on Twitter, I posted a lot of those updates on Twitter, you know, daily, like every now and then. Yeah, and I apologize for anybody whose Twitter feed I blew up, and it was just, I was so mad at the officiating that day, and it was just flat out awful. And here's another reason why I can get really, I wouldn't say, you know, mad, but also really competitive at the same time. So, when it comes down to, like, sports, games, you know, anything, I am super competitive. I may not show it at times, but there will be a point where I will refuse to lose, and that kind of is an understatement with anybody else wanting, you know, play for anything for that matter, with, like I said, with baseball, football, basketball, and competitiveness has definitely become, you know, a thing in our time, and it definitely makes sense, though. It does, because when you're a competitive person, right, and you are in a game, and it comes down to, like, a clutch time moment, of course, you're going to get super competitive, and when you're talking about the MLB postseason, that's basically the same thing. So, that being said, I apologize for being super competitive. It's in my nature, and it's just how I am. I'm in a sports family, and it's really like one of those things where you gotta support your team throughout the end. And no matter how many points you're down, how many runs, you know, all that other stuff, you gotta support them until the end. And there are gonna be some people where they're actually gonna give up on their team, you know, like late innings. So like, oh, we're down 3-1, we're done, it's over, blah, blah, blah. But I really don't like those people who do that, honestly, because when people do some things like that, it's like you're giving up. And it's just like life, too. Sometimes you gotta grab it, of course, by the balls and just say, screw it, I'm not giving up, I'm gonna get what I want, and we're just gonna go from there. But enough about that. That was kind of awful to talk about, but whatever. Anyways, so back to the baseball topic here really quick. Going to the Giants game and the Cubbies. So the Giants were up 5-2. 5-2. Top of the ninth inning, so they think, okay, we can force this to Game 5, right? Apparently, the bullpen decided to let themselves down just a tad bit, because they scored 4 runs in the ninth inning. Yeah, it's definitely possible for them to score 4 runs here in the ninth inning, but to do something like that in the postseason, I mean, that is just, you know, completely unacceptable. And when your team, you gotta at least close it out, though. I mean, the difference between the Giants and the Dodgers here was that the Dodgers actually got up off their feet, saying, no, we're not gonna take no for their answer, we're not gonna do stuff like that, and we're gonna close it out here, and we're gonna force a Game 5. So the Giants decided to do the same thing, and oh my lord, they just decided, I mean, as much as happy as I am, you know, I do not like the Giants. I mean, and that way, I mean, the whole thing with me and the Giants, because like I said, I'm a Dodger fan, you know, but they decided to choke in the ninth inning, and their bullpen, the Giants bullpen, you know, it's been like really good over the years, but this year, it hasn't really been the same since then, because it's been, you know, just flat out awful. I mean, of course, Santiago Casilla, the new closer for the Giants, is he was all right. He was decent, but I mean, he wasn't good, you know, like Sergio Romo good, but he was a decent enough closer to actually hold off, you know, any other teams trying to come back, you know, from a deficit. But that being said, though, back to me hating the Giants. I'm kind of glad the Giants season ended from like a Dodger fan point of view, because oh my god, if I had to hear that even year crap one more time, I swear to god, I was gonna go take a baseball bat, no pun intended, and just shove it down somebody's throat. But that's besides the point, though. I'm not that kind of person, though. So, anyways, basically, it's been a hell of a ride here in the MLB postseason, because all the teams that are left in the postseason is that you have, of course, the Chicago Cubs, who haven't won a World Series, you know, in the past century. We're talking about like 100 years back. And then, of course, we got the Toronto Blue Jays and the Washington Nationals I mentioned like a moment ago. They haven't won a World Series at all since moving from Montreal when they were when they were the Expos back in the 90s and the early 2000s. But and then you have excuse me, and then you have, of course, the LA Dodgers haven't won a World Series, excuse me, I can't talk today, since 1988, and that's actually, ironically enough, that's actually the year I was born. So I know I don't sound like I'm old enough, but I was born in '88, so that's kind of a future knowledge for you, not future knowledge, but a little bit of a knowledge for you guys. So if you want to get to know me, yeah, I was born, yeah, I'm older than I sound, or look for that matter. And I don't even know why I threw a trip mine in that location, but he kind of shot it. But anyways, guys, I mean, you're looking at teams, I mean, somebody's drought is going to end. It's actually going to end one way or another. Now, of course, when you look at these teams, you think to yourself, okay, and especially, the Cleveland Indians, who haven't won, since the 90s, well, since I think it's the 90s, I'm not sure. And I know the Blue Jays haven't won the World Series since, the 90s either, and I believe they beat the Atlanta Braves in the World Series, if my memory serves correctly. I'm not quite exactly sure, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. It's whatever for anything else. But that being said, enough about baseball for the time being. I want to talk about, going back to my competitiveness here really quick, and my story of how I get, super competitive here, even on Call of Duty, any other game, all that other stuff, like, combined. So, like I said, I may not show it a lot, but I am very competitive, as I said before, where it comes to, like, video games, sports against friends. I mean, I don't try to be competitive. I know there's a certain limit where you just gotta say, we were playing for fun, everybody's relaxing, blah, blah, blah. And, yeah, I can get, hyped up. I can, try to motivate myself and then all that jazz, and whatever. But there's going to come to a point when you get too competitive, then there's going to be people saying, like, oh, something's wrong with you, you're not going to be all that other person, blah, blah, blah. But, honestly, if people say I'm a little too competitive, I mean, that's their opinion. I literally don't care, honestly. But, honestly, it's who I am as a person, and I can't really change that about me, because when I get super competitive about a lot of things, it's hard for me to control that. So, and I also wanted to discuss that basically everybody's competitive. That it's not just, me and everybody else, not just me, and all my friends, on PSN, because if you, like, people know on PSN and in real life and YouTube, like I said, get super competitive, it happens. But honestly, when it comes down to, that guy just got shit on, by the way, but when it comes down to it, I mean, you can't really change who you are, and that RPG just came out of nowhere. But you just come to the point, you just gotta accept who you are. You can't change who you are. I mean, people will try to change you, but honestly, it's basically, you can't really change yourself. And if you do try to change yourself, then there's obviously going to be a lot of problems with that, because there's an old saying, and it goes something like this: just be yourself, be who you are, don't try to be anybody else. And that's what everybody's been going by lately, whether it's big time billionaires, athletes, YouTubers, stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure they go with that, every single day. And people actually make that comparison where it's like, oh, you don't want to be him, or such and such, or you want to be like this guy, I want to be like him, blah, blah, blah. And there's kids with, like, hopes and dreams on being like their idol and hero. And when it gets at the point of age where they get older, then it's just like, you just got to be yourself, though. Don't try to be anybody else, but at the end of the day, you just gotta be yourself. That's pretty much all there is to it. So, anyways, guys, sorry for blabbing my mouth off for like past 15 minutes, but thank you guys so much for watching. And if you guys did enjoy the video, please drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to my channel. I almost fucked that up for some reason. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It definitely helps my channel grow. And if you do hit that subscription button, be sure to hit the bell notification so that way you can stay up to date on all the videos I do, live streams, videos, stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. So, Anyways, I'm Kyle the Pug, and I will see you guys in the next video. So have a good day, and as always, stay safe. Peace!